Hey everyone, Julian here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a question I get quite a bit, which is how do you make your mixes more balanced and more full sounding without them being too overcrowded and without too much sort of clashing going on. So I have this thing in front of me I've been working on. It's just kind of like this little track, but I think it really exemplifies a lot of what I'm going to talk about today. So this is what it sounds like. So it's just like this pretty standard kind of poppy house track, but there's a lot of layering going on with these synths. And again, it exemplifies what I want to talk about, which is layering things together, not to make them more powerful or to build them up, but just to complement each sound. So like an example of this would be the pluck sound that's playing the chords. It sounds like this with the two layers playing. And what it is it's this kalimba layer, and then this serum patch. And then, so like I said, you can really hear here how these aren't just two sounds that sound similar being layered together. These are two sounds that are completely different, but complement each other. The little pluck is kind of filling up like the mids and the lower mids, and then this kalimba sound is more of those kind of like, or is doing more of the sparkly kind of like high-end stuff. And same thing with this lead here. The lead sounds like this. And it's three layers. It's this layer, and then this layer. So, very similar thing going on here. We have like the kind of three layers here. We have this brass sound, which is kind of sharper and more in the high mids. We have this lead, which is kind of in the middle, but it's giving it a lot more presence and a lot more beef, and it's like keep making it less thin. And then we have this sort of string sound, which is just sitting nicely under the brass to sort of beef that up a little bit and give it more width. So again, like I said, it's like using sounds together that complement each other and layer nicely, but don't just fill up this, do like a lot of the same thing. Like, for example, with the bells, I wouldn't want to duplicate this, like, or layer this with another kalimba or like steel drum or like some sound like that that's very similar to this. I want to go for a sound that's very different, which is why I chose this. And even in the bass, I mean, this bass is more of a standard thing. Bass sounds like this, and it's basically two layers. This one, and then this sort of sub bass. So even there, that's like a very basic example. I'm sure a lot of producers, that's one of the first things you learn how to do is split your bass up into the mid bass and then the sub bass. But this is like a really good example of it because these sounds, again, they don't take up the same range. They're not like too much the same, but they're similar enough that they layer nicely together and they complement each other. This bass sort of fills up that low mid range, and then this bass is obviously doing the sub. So, you know, like I said, that's really what you want to focus on. When you're trying to make your mixes really balanced, just try and get sounds that complement each other and don't just sort of fill up the same ranges. I would never want to do a super saw with a super saw, for example, because all it's going to do is just sound like one really loud, really messy super saw. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Make sure to let me know what you thought of this video in the comments, and make sure to like the video and subscribe. Maybe even share the video if it really helped you out. Check out my sample packs in the description as well. And I will see you guys again tomorrow with another tutorial.